Guys, this is me, Arthur, and you're watching How to Draw Creepy Creatures. Now, November is almost over, but if you guys watched my previous videos, you'll know that November is Native American month in honor of Thanksgiving. So, on today's episode, we're going to do Delgeth. Alright. Now, Delgeth is a primordial deer or antelope from Native American mythology. What makes it interesting, though, is that it's pyrokinetic, or kind of like, I hate to use this as an example, but do you remember Rapidash from Pokemon? Basically that. Anyway, so it was a being that gods and heroes had to fight against in order to keep it from destroying the world. However, more recent cultures have put something of a positive spin on it, where Delgeth represents creation and destruction, where the Navajo people noticed that woodpeckers like to nest in areas where there have been a forest fire. And so they noticed that a lot of creatures benefit from forest fires. So they believe that the gods created Delgeth in order to use its fire-starting power in order to create forest fires, in order to clear the land. So it's believed that Delgeth, by destroying the forest with its flames, creates new life by putting those healthy nutrients back into the soil so that new forests can grow. It's an interesting concept, but apparently people were very afraid of this animal, obviously, because it was believed to start fires, so there were bounties put on its head. It was believed that if you could get to the skin from a Delgeth, that it would create fireproof clothing, so it was very valuable. So according to legend, it was hunted to extinction. But I guess no one knows, do they? Okay. Okay. I just thought that this would be really interesting and beautiful to draw, just like a deer that's on fire. Except usually drawing an animal that's on fire is horrible. But in this case, because the fire isn't killing it, and it's obviously not in pain, that isn't bad. Kind of like drawing a phoenix or something like that. Just gonna draw a very basic outline of the antlers. I thought making it running would be kind of cool. So, alright. Okay, we got the basic outline and everything in the muscle structure, so let's work on the finer details. Kind of have like flames coming off of it. Kind of like a mane of flame, almost like a horse. surprising how often life forms benefit from forest fires, because that's kind of the last thing you would think. It doesn't stand to reason that the destruction of an entire habitat would actually help anything, but apparently it does. There are many animals that thrive after a forest fire, and so the Navajo people invented this legend to explain what starts the forest fires. But often when they're not started by humans, they could be started by natural things like lightning, for instance. But they didn't really quite understand that, so they made up this creature to explain it. Usually I would darken its eyes, but I kind of imagine its eyes as glowing, obviously, so. I'm kind of going to use an elk for the face. I just always thought elk are very majestic. Probably my favorite kind of deer. Now, if you remember the Wendigo and Skinwalker episode, you'll remember basically how to draw antlers, but if you didn't see those, just watch what I'm doing. Alright, let's have a little bit of flame coming off the horns, or the antlers. Okay. Don't really need to do shading on this. Well, a little bit, but not so much because it's, well, on fire, but you might want to darken some of the areas to show where the body is coming through a little bit. Alright, sign off with your artist mark. And you have just drawn Delgeth. Alright, like, share, and subscribe. Anybody who has a suggestion for a specific creature that they want me to draw, Native American or not, just leave it in the comments. I will be sure to get back to you. Also, December is going to be a month of bad Santas, so I already have a list of really scary Christmas creatures I want to do. If you guys can come up with some, maybe I haven't heard of it, so absolutely put it in the comments, and I'll be sure to see if I could do that. Also, I just set up a Patreon page that goes not only to this show, but also towards the book series I'm writing. It's called Rapunculus at patreon.com. And anybody who completed a lesson on the show and would like to show off your artwork, you can send it to me at arthurwrotethis@gmail.com, and I will include as long as you give me your written permission, I will include your name on the show with the picture so that everybody knows that you did it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Happy belated Thanksgiving and almost Christmas. Goodbye.